And welcome back to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin and on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin. And we also have the Ravelry group, Pip and Pin. Today is November 22nd and it is episode 41. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me and spending the next half an hour or so with me. And if you're a new viewer, thanks for being here. Couple things before we get into the knitting. I do have a little bit of news. Saturday, November 23rd, so tomorrow, I will be at Valley Yarn from 10 to 2. So that is a yarn store in Surrey. A really nice yarn store in Surrey. And I'll be there with my books. I'll have some samples, I'll have some patterns, so you can come by and say, hey, I'll sign your books for you if you want to. Yeah, you can come hang out for the morning, afternoon, kind of in the middle of the day. I have the Rainforest Knit Along that is happening in the Pip and Pin Ravelry group. You can find all the details there, but basically it is a knit along that's going until the end of December, and that is for any of the patterns in our new book, Rainforest Knits, and as well as Mayma and Cat Bells, just to round it all out. Also in that group, you will find the Wintertime Mini Along, and that just started a week ago. There's already finished object in there, which is very, very nice. That one ends on February 14th, and that one is any project you want featuring mini skeins. Again, you can find all the details in our Ravelry group. I didn't realize this because I kind of just came up with this knit along idea and jumped into it willy-nilly. I was actually watching the Cozy Up Knits podcast, which are the sisters from Alberta. They're also hosting a mini along, which I didn't realize at the time. But I did talk to them and I said, I just started this, thing, and I'm totally okay with people double dipping in knit alongs. I wanted to make sure it was okay with them too before I say anything. But you can actually go over to their Ravelry group. I believe it's just Cozy Up Knits. I'll make sure to put a link to it down below. And you can actually enter your mini skein project in both of our knit alongs. So mine and theirs, they're having some great prizes too. And yeah, so there you go. There's a freebie for you. If you're already making a project for my knit along or their knit along, you can enter them in both. And yeah, just double your chances of getting a cool prize. They also have lots of, I put some of them in the bundle. I have a bundle of patterns on Ravelry for mini skein projects, because I know some people don't really know what to do with their mini skeins once they have them. They have some patterns that I put in that bundle as well. Yeah, and not just mini skeins, but scraps are totally okay too. So however you want to do it, just using lots of little bits of color. I also have the winner of the giveaway. So last week I did the BFF giveaway, the Knitting BFF giveaway, and that was for 2 of these project bags filled with all sorts of nitty-gritty stuff. Basically just 2 sets of knitters tools. One for you and one for your knitting BFF. So it was really fun to go through all the comments and read where everybody knits and how they do it. I know some people do it on Skype or over the phone or at the coffee shop, which is where I usually go, or in their houses or at their friends' houses, or just at home watching podcasts, which is totally great too. I do that a lot as well. So our winner is Tracy Kuzniak. So Tracy, congratulations. I have a set for you and a set for your BFF. Send me an email at support@pipandpin.ca, and I will get all your information, and I can send both of them to you and you can disperse them, or I can send one to you and one to your friend if you don't live near each other. Yeah, and hopefully those will get to you just in time for Christmas. Thank you for everyone who entered. There was over 100 entries, so that was really, really awesome. Yeah, and I'll be doing more giveaways and stuff soon. I really like doing them. I like knit-alongs and giveaways, and everything's just great. As for what I'm wearing today, this is probably one of my most worn knits. This is my Mayma cardigan. It's a pattern I designed the beginning of this year. I was working on it over last Christmas, I remember. It wasn't actually going to be a pattern. I was just knitting it for myself, and then I did actually publish it, and it has been one of my most popular ones to date, which is, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I really love this pattern. I wear it all the time. It's a fingering weight, open front, it's loose, and it just kind of goes over top of everything. It's just a light little layer. It has honeycomb brioche on the front and the back, and then stockinette for the sleeves. And it's just easy peasy, breezy, lovely little knit. I definitely need to make myself another one. Oh, we have a visitor. Hi. We have a Prody day from school today, so we're just hanging out with me.
Hi viewers. Hi viewers.
You gotta look right up there. See where that little camera is?
Yeah. Hi viewers.
You just want to hang out for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. I do have a finished object. I haven't blocked it or woven in any of the ends yet, but I kind of did that on purpose, as I finished it 2 days ago, and I figured if I blocked it and like completely finished it, I was planning on podcasting yesterday, didn't get a chance to, so it would have been wet and then I wouldn't have been able to show you anything. But now I'm able to show you what it looks like pre-blocking and post-blocking, which I'll show you what it is first. I'll tell you what it is. This is I'm calling it tentatively my Fidley shawl, because it is made with superwash merino worsted by Fidley Dyeworks in the Harper colorway. And this is what it looks like right now. It is a big wrap, and it features this one column of kind of twisted stitch pattern on a reverse stockinette background. And then on either end, it just has a little bit of twisted ribbing there. And it is nice and big and long and lovely, and also very scrunchy and not quite as big as it could be. It is blue in the background. So with this, I just want to show you, this is what it looks like unblocked. The magic is going to happen when I block this, because this is superwash merino yarn. It is going to stretch out. It is going to block beautifully, and I'm very excited to see what it does. Are you making it pink now?
Yes.
I think it'll just make everything pop. It'll make these edges unfurl, and it will add some length and some width as well, I think. So I think it's just gonna be the perfect size to wrap around or to do as a scarf. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what this looks like blocked. So I'll probably do that later on today. For works in progress, I do have a couple. I don't have anything new that I've started because I'm working on the projects that I have, but I have made lots of progress. I haven't done anything on my underwing mitts. Those are the colorwork mittens that I'm working on with the moth on them. But I haven't made any progress on my underwing mitts, but I have like half of one to do left, so I'll show you those when they're completed, probably next week. The thing that I've been working on the most probably was this shawl to get that, or the wrap to get that finished up, and Justin's sweater. So this is a sweater I'm working on for my husband. I'm not using a pattern. I'm kind of just winging it and making him try it on a billion times, which he's not very excited about, but I told him I can just stop. No, I'll try it on. I am using Drops Nord, and I'm holding it double. And I think I'm using size 6 needles or something. I don't know. I did my gauge swatch and it totally lied, so I did have to cast it on twice, but it's getting there. So I did the body bottom up, and I think last time I showed you I had done the shoulder seams, and I've done one sleeve except for the cuff. So one sleeve is finished. And for the sleeve, how I did this for his last sweater as well, and I did all the armhole shaping and closed up the shoulder seam, and then I picked up the stitches and did short row shaping for the sleeve cap. If you are wondering how that's done, check out Andy Satterland's, I think it's called The Guide to Set in Sleeves or something like that. I'll put a link to it down below, but it's a great little ebook on how to do this technique. It's one that she uses for a lot of her patterns. And then, of course, it doesn't have a cuff yet because I'm doing some color work bit things with some gray and some white to add a little bit of interest to this giant orange sweater. There's going to be a button band here, and then some collar and some length, and of course another sleeve. But it's getting there. I think probably by next week it will be done, or at least, that one sleeve will be done for sure. That will probably get finished today, and then I'll start working on the color work bits and all the little finishing things, and that's exciting. Everything's getting complete. Everything's almost done. It's so exciting. If you don't know, I'm doing something called Capsule Knitting. It's something my friend Sam started doing, and I stole it. And basically you have a capsule of 3, it's almost like a capsule wardrobe where you have your 10 items or whatever, and they all go together, blah, blah, blah. But with knitting, you have your 3 projects, and they're all kind of different, and they all serve different purposes. And knitting wise, so like a fingering and something that you need to concentrate on, and something stockinette and basic, or whatever you think you will need throughout this thing. And then those are the projects you work on until you're done. So I haven't cast on anything new until I'm finishing up those 3 things. So the Fidley shawl is done. The mittens, I have half a mitten left. Justin's sweater, I have half a sleeve and some finishing. And then I get to start a whole bunch of new things, which is very exciting. I also have a pair of socks that I'm working on. I'm not counting socks in my capsule because I'm doing the sock bash for the grocery girls, which is a year-long knit-along where you do a pair of socks a month, and I'm on my 11th month. And I'm not messing around with that. So this is my second sock of this one. I don't even know where my other one is. In a bag somewhere, I'm sure. Sorry if you can hear Georgia. She's kind of coloring and doing stuff, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, so this is the blueberry waffle socks. It's kind of based on the blueberry waffle sock pattern. I didn't actually follow the instructions for it. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will put a link to it down below. And this is using Katya Yarn's Yarn in the Box. And I think they just have numbers for colors, but it basically goes from this blue to this really dark red. And these are going to be a Christmas gift. I have half a sock to do, and then I'm done. And this will probably get done. This is what I'll bring with me when I'm at Valley Yarn. So that's what I will be working on. And that's all I have for knitting that I've been working on. But I did go, last weekend I went to Galliano Island. There was a knitting retreat there put on by Knit Social, and I didn't attend the retreat, but they did have a pop-up shop, like a little tiny pop-up market for the attendees, and I was a vendor at that market. I got invited to go spend an hour or two out there, and that was super fun. I just had a little suitcase of stuff, and Justin and Georgia came on the ferry with me. We'd never been to Galliano before, so while I was doing the market, they came and helped me set up and saw what I was doing, and then they kind of buggered off and did their own thing and found some cool ocean things to go look at. And while I was there, I think there was about 6 or 7 other vendors, and I was very good, and I only bought one thing. And it was this guy. And this is a bag. And it's a box bag. And I don't have anything like this. But it's really cool. I was wearing my noni tee while I was there, and it matched. So I got it. But I really like this handle. It's great for knitting socks and standing around and knitting, which is what I do a lot. And it is from Atelier Nekozuki, and very reasonably priced as well. I know she's, if you're in and around Vancouver, she's at Knit City, and she uses all fabrics from Japan when she makes her bags. So very, very excited about this guy. And then I also, Amanda Capra was there as well, who is the Crafty Jackalope, and she does those magpie things with the super sparkly, amazing sequiny yarn. So I was very tempted to buy a kit from her for like a gold sequin toque. But I did restrain myself. One thing, I allowed myself to come home with one thing. So that might have to wait. I have too much yarn right now. I need to like get some things done. So yeah, and then after the market, we still had a lot of time between when the market ended and our ferry. And so we went out to the Hummingbird Diner. I don't know. It was a diner, a restaurant-y kind of place. And that was super cool, really good food. Just totally like, just a really great little restaurant. And then Georgia wanted to take me back to where her and Justin went. So we went back to the little park that they went to, and it was basically these giant rocks and the ocean, and you walk all around. And we got there kind of at dusk, and I mean, it's in the ocean and there's sea life. And so we were kind of sitting at the top of this bluff, and there's a bench, and at the bottom there was a sea otter, which are probably my favorite animals in the whole world. And he was just hanging out on the rocks.
And cats.
And cats. I do like cats, yeah. He was hanging out on the rocks, and he was just like kind of barking at us, and he was really interested in what we were doing. And we were quite, I mean, not super close to it, not close enough to scare it, but, you know, close enough that we could see him and he could see us, and we were interested. And yeah, so we hung around and watched him for about 10 minutes or so, and then he swam into the water. And then so we continued on the little path, and then around the corner we saw a couple of harbor seals. And so it was really cool. That was a really awesome end to a fun day. Unfortunately, the only thing is it was on a Sunday, and it's a tiny island, and so everything closed kind of at 5. And what we should have done is like had a snack and then went to the beach and then gone to the restaurant at like 5, because there was no more daylight left. So it got pitch black at 5 o'clock, and there wasn't really anything open. We were still stuffed from our like dinner that we had at 3 o'clock. So we didn't want to go to a restaurant and like not eat anything. I don't know. We're kind of weird about that. So we basically went to the ferry terminal, which is not really a ferry terminal. It's just kind of a parking lot. So we went and paid and parked our car. And but there were places there that you could like, there was the big long pier. So you could walk down to the end of the pier, and then kind of underneath you could get down to. So there were like lights everywhere. So, I mean, it was pitch black, but we still went down and looked around at the ocean, kind of under the dock, and then there was another little place off to the side that we could get to. So we didn't really have to wait too long in the car. And yeah, that was George's first ferry ride, so she thought that was really cool. On the way there, her and Justin went to, they like went out on the deck, and it was super windy. I would have gone with them, but I was also like going to work, so I didn't want to be a disaster. So I didn't actually go out on the deck with them while the boat was moving. But she thought that was really cool. I watched them from the window, and yeah, she's like, the wind, it blew me away.
But yeah, Widow was making me run towards the window on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not supposed to run.
No, you're definitely not supposed to run. Yeah, so that was our big exciting thing for the weekend. It was really awesome. I would 100% do it again. I would love to like go to one of those retreats one day, because they just seem like so much fun. Like it's just like a whole weekend just filled with knitters of awesomeness and classes, and it would just be so much fun. This weekend, George's, wow, what did you make? You made me a background. Cool. That's awesome. Do you want to tell people about what you did?
I made a ginormous background.
You did.
If you guys would like to see it. Here, you cannot see my face though.
What did you, what's this one? Why don't I point and you tell, so what's this?
It's connect the dots.
Oh, connect the dots. And what does the picture make? A house?
Yes, but it's kind of weird. It's a weird house.
Oh, a weird house. Awesome. And what are these guys up here?
Waves.
Waves?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are they on an island?
Yeah. Galliano Island.
That's Galliano. They're on Galliano Island?
Ah, that's okay. It's tape.
And what's this guy?
That's the first one I did. I don't really know.
You don't really know? Just something cool looking? Awesome. And what are these guys?
Scribbles.
Scribbles. Cool background.
Thanks.
I love it.
Thanks.
Always doing art.
And this is the other side.
What's the other side?
It's quite boring.
Quite boring. Those are print-offs of our book drafts. So I just have stacks of paper that Georgia uses for art. Yeah, this weekend I was planning on taking Georgia to go see Santa this afternoon, but he's not actually going to be visiting our mall until tomorrow, so we'll probably do that this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to Valley Yarn tomorrow, and the indie designer gift along is starting very shortly, and that's a really fun event that goes from, I think, the 26th. It starts next Tuesday and it goes until the end of the year, and I think there's 280 something designers that are participating this year. I'm one of them. Basically, it's a whole giant knit along. There's like a sale at the beginning, and then there's a knit along, and there's tons of prizes, and it's just a super, super fun thing to get everyone into the Christmas knitting kind of spirit. You don't have to just knit Christmas gifts. There's like, you can knit anything from any of the participating designers and enter to win. There's all sorts of different categories. I am planning to make a few things. I really want to make the Christmas cracker hat by Faye Kennington. And I was trying to go through my stash and see what yarn I wanted to use, because I don't really want to buy anything new for the projects. I just want to use some of the stuff that I have. And I forgot that I did actually buy a set of yarn specifically to make something color work, and I didn't know what I wanted to make. So I'm going to use these guys. And these are all from Hypothesis Yarns, and it's from Merino DK, which is superwash merino wool. And these are all her like Wes Anderson colors. So based on Wes Anderson movies, I was very excited when she came out with this color palette. There was tons of different colors too. These were just the 4 that I happened to pick. So I think that's going to be really cute. It's not super Christmassy. So I'll be able to wear it all winter, which I think is going to be great. And it's exactly what I wanted to do with this yarn. Though I was just looking at the projects actually, and it feels like it might be a little bit long for me, but I might modify. I'll figure out a way to modify it somehow. Yeah, so I think that's going to be one of the first project that I'm going to make for the knit along. And it's Tuesday, is that what I said? Yeah, so that'll start on Tuesday. I think all the designers have already signed up, so I think probably in the next day or 2 they will release the list of designers. I'll put a link down to the Gift Along Ravelry thread or the Ravelry group, and there's all the information there. It's a really big event. It's a lot of information. The chat threads go really fast. So you just have to kind of jump in. Don't be intimidated by it. Just jump in, do what you can. It's really fun. And aside from that, I do have a couple things that I have acquired. The bag I already showed you. And this is a little 50-gram skein of yarn, which, okay, this is self-striping yarn. And selling it in 50 grams is brilliant. Because I'm always left with, like, I can very easily make a pair of socks out of 50 grams of yarn with contrasting heels and toes and cuffs. So when I have 100 grams of self-striping yarn, I'm left with so much. And I don't really want to make the same pair of socks twice. And that's really all I'm going to use my self-striping yarn for. Maybe mittens or something, but I really, really think 50 grams is brilliant. You know, this is from Tiny Human Knits, and it is Scrappy Socks in the Woods. And this was a gift from my friend Sam. Did you make me another background? Oh, thank you.
Hi guys, it's me again. I'm the one who made the first background. I made a new one.
You made a new one.
Yeah, you guys might not be able to see me. Yeah.
Looks like you did all different colors.
Yeah.
Cool.
With troubles.
Neat. Awesome, kiddo.
Yeah.
I'm
going to do something new now.
Okay.
With some tools.
I also was on the Autumn and Indigo website. I think she posted about these on Instagram, and so I went to go and check them out. And they are little dishes. So I like to use these for stitch markers and stuff. I just thought they were so beautiful and very reasonably priced. So I got a couple of them. I think one of them is going to be a prize for something, and one of them is going to be for me. And then I was looking around on her site because shipping, you want to make it worth it. And like sometimes, no matter what you buy, the shipping's all going to be the same, which was the case. So I decided to get a couple more things. Are some mini skein packs that she has, and sorry about if the crinkling. But there's this one, so this warm one, and then this one which has some kind of blues and reds, and just her colors are just so lovely together. I was thinking of maybe switching the reds for the oranges. I don't know exactly. I might also use one of these for giveaways. I still haven't decided. I haven't decided if I want to keep them or give them away yet. I think I want to keep one of them. I want to make another pair of sprocket socks because I really like that pattern. My next cast on. I don't know if I showed this before, but my next pair of sprocket socks is going to be these guys. It's a little bit of Christmas knitting, kind of dark Christmas knitting. Yeah, so that is what I got from Autumn and Indigo. If you are in the market for some mini skeins or just some beautiful yarn in general, I would definitely suggest going and checking out her kits. I don't know if they're on her website. I can't remember if they were under sale or like yarn kits or something like that. Very reasonably priced for, especially like these mini skein kits were, I'd say at least $10 to $15 cheaper than anything I've really seen. So especially for a hand-dyed yarn, really great deal. I think she has sets of 4 like 100-gram skeins for $60 or something. American, so I mean it's a little bit more to us Canadians, but like $20 for the set of 5, which is really, really reasonable. So I added those to the cart as well. I'm not committing to giving them away for giveaways, but there's a very good possibility at least one of them will be a prize for the mini along. And I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's all of the nitty crafty stuff that I have to talk about. This week I hope to finish up Justin's sweater and that pair of socks. And then I can start some new stuff. Yeah, so quick reminder, there is the Rainforest Knit Along still going until December 31st. There is the Wintertime Mini Along that's going until the middle of February. Tracy, please get a hold of me. I have your prizes. And I hope to see some of you at Valley Yarn tomorrow. All right, hope you all have a great weekend, great week. I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Heart.
Heart.